All right, let's get into it. We're digging into Me and the Boys Wrestling today.
Yeah, their latest digital wrestling show.
Yeah.
And the source material is basically their own commentary, right?
Right.
As it all happened.
Exactly. Like we're getting the insider play-by-play from the creators themselves as the virtual chaos unfolds. So our mission really is to pull out the key happenings, the feuds heating up, the stuff that makes you lean in.
And what's really striking, I mean, right off the bat, is how detailed this whole world is. It's like completely self-contained.
Totally. It's not just a few wrestlers. They've got all these factions, the Elite, the Militia, NXG, HRS.
The Nicities, the Quibessers, the Purifiers, the Leaders, the Glowing Hearts, the Deleters, even Team 420. It's a lot to keep track of, but it makes it rich.
And they've got their own titles, too. The ladies' title, tag titles.
And that Only Heels title, which sounds pretty specific.
Right. And the match types. It's not just standard stuff. We're talking Royal Rumbles.
Yeah, that chaotic free-for-all style.
4 games with the double ring and the cage, tables, ladders, and chairs, or TLC matches.
Super chaotic, high-risk stuff.
Tornado tag, where everyone's legal at once. And even, like, a casket match.
Where you literally have to put your opponent in a coffin to win. Wild.
So, yeah, for anyone listening who's maybe curious about how you build stories in, like, a digital space, this is such a great example. We're going to see rivalries catch fire, who gets the gold, and just those twists you don't see coming, all through how the hosts reacted,
Yeah, and that commentary becomes so crucial, doesn't it? Because it's simulated action.
Yeah.
You need that human element, the storytelling, the reaction.
Yeah.
They're not just calling moves, they're like weaving the narrative in real time, giving context.
Okay, so let's dive right into the big one, the Royal Rumble. Sounds like, first off, there were maybe some technical bumps with the 2K25 game they use.
Yeah, they mentioned some glitches, game functionality issues. Which, yeah, what happens with tech, it's a reminder that even these carefully built worlds rely on the software working right.
But despite that, they seem pretty hyped about how unpredictable the Rumble itself was.
Oh, absolutely. And that unpredictability is gold, right? For any kind of ongoing story, simulated or not, keeps people guessing, keeps it exciting.
And the lineup was huge, just reading some of these names. Sweet Scott Nash, Frankier was in there for the Elite, which is interesting.
Yeah, unexpected.
The Quibessers, Jaco and Pierre, Stroop, Marty the Magic Guy, JJ DeBoss, Ryan Kai, Drake the Devil Castle, Big Daddy Cole, T-Wright.
The Dreadnoks, King Slick, Fingers Cameron Taylor, Gordy Mack, Superintendent Dixon.
Art the Clown, Richie Millis, Butcher, Dr. Volcano, Papa Shango, Mr. Tyrell from HR.
Okay, him again. Elvis Viscera, Tipo, Bazaar Butcher, Cesar Loco Hernandez, Bob Belcher.
Michael Myers, Wiles, Danger Boy, Road Pig, Zippy, Honky Tonk Crest, DUI, Brent, Cody Harris, Gale, DMP. Whew! That's a packed ring.
Seriously. And the thing is, so many of them belong to these factions, right? So
Yeah.
right away, you've got potential team-ups, maybe backstabbing. It sets up future stuff just by who's in there.
And there were some key moments. Sounds like Black Knight was tearing it up for a while.
Yeah, seemed dominant. And Jason Voorhees just showing up is, well, it's a statement.
And the Quibessers apparently recruited some muscle during the match. Jacques and Pierre beefing up.
Makes sense for their whole gimmick, yeah.
Yeah.
Adding to the faction.
But there were a couple of eliminations that even the commentators didn't see coming. Stroop and Richie Mills.
Right, yeah, total mystery at first. Like, who even did that?
Turned out it was Superintendent Dixon from the Glowing Hearts who got Richie Mills.
Which is interesting. Gives Dixon a bit of an edge, maybe points the Glowing Hearts in a new direction, shows how one little moment in a big match can spark something new.
And then you had that classic Rumble moment, Road Pig tossed his own teammate.
Oh, man. You can't plan that perfectly. Or maybe you can in this world. But yeah, classic blunder. Or maybe intentional. Who knows?
And the winner. So Buzza Butcher won the Rumble the week before this.
Yeah, seems like they run Rumbles fairly often. But this time, Dr. Volcano took it.
Dr. Volcano. And Mr. Tyrell, the HR guy, he was in this, and he apparently had another match booked later. Busy night for HR.
He gets around. These little unexpected twists, they keep you watching, don't they? And the fact that factions get points based on how their members do.
Right, that adds another layer.
Yeah, it makes every elimination, how long someone lasts actually means something for the bigger picture, for their whole team's score.
Okay, let's shift gears from the big Rumble chaos to the title picture. First up, the ladies' title. Tables, ladders, and chairs match Mishi versus Sweet Death. Sounds intense.
Yeah, TLC matches always are. Lots of weapons, high spots, Sounds like it was pretty chaotic like you'd expect.
And Mishi got the win, regained the title.
Yep, Mishi's champ again, and they already set up the next challenger, Arai. So boom, new feud right away. Keeps things moving in that division.
Nice. Then the tag titles were defended, Tornado Tag Rules, the Splash Brothers, that's Fingers of Cameron Taylor,
Yeah.
against the champs, King Frenchie and RJ the Terrible,
Mm-hmm.
and new champs.
The Splash Brothers got the job done. Took the titles. And what's cool is the commentary immediately started speculating, Who's next? Magic Mania. The Jungle Boys. The Midnight Outsiders.
So they're already planting seeds for the future.
Exactly. Shows they're thinking ahead, building anticipation for what's next in the tag scene.
Now, King Frenchie, he lost the tag belt, but he's still the only heels champion.
Right. Holding on to that one.
And he's got a defense coming up against Sweet Scott Nash and 2 other people, TBD.
Yeah. And that only heels thing, it seems really tied into their Facebook group, doesn't it? Like a whole separate ecosystem almost.
It does, yeah.
Which is smart, Engaging the community directly like that. It kind of blurs the line between the show and the fans, makes people more invested if they're part of that group's story.
Yeah.
Community-driven stuff.
Good point. Okay, there were a bunch of other matches too, right? Things feeding into other stories. Big Daddy Cole versus the Great Puma is booked for. Lucky 13, their next big event, maybe.
Seems like it. And the Great Puma. Sounds like he's got this big reputation, like undefeated in other places, so they're building him up as a big deal.
Yeah, his match later against Holden Rhodes seemed like a focus point too.
Definitely.
Before that, though, Gale beat DMP. Just a regular match, but they put faction points on the line. 10 points each.
Yeah, Gale won, so that was a nice boost for the Purifiers in the standings.
That's a cool mechanic. Making regular matches have bigger stakes.
Absolutely. It means wins and losses directly shift the power balance between the factions. Adds real weight.
Then there was Buddy the Wabbit versus JJ DeBoss, also for 10 points. Deers versus the Elite.
Right.
And Connor Lachlan versus Cameron Taylor in a casket match.
Wow. Yeah, and the prize for that was a title shot against the Block.
Okay, huge stakes. And that title match is supposed to happen in 2K25?
That's what it sounded like. So they're integrating the game itself, its features, into the storyline progression, using the match types to build towards bigger things.
Okay, now back to the Great Puma. He faced Holden Rhodes in what they called a Puma Rules match.
No submissions, 20 count outside, pinfall only. Tailored to Puma style, presumably.
Right, but Holden Rhodes won. The commentators seemed pretty shocked.
Yeah, that sounded like a genuine upset. A big deal. It gives the Purifiers more points, obviously, but it also kind of damages Puma's whole unstoppable vibe they were building.
Who's he guessing, right?
Exactly. Those unexpected results are vital. Shows anything can happen.
Okay, what else? The Midnight Outsiders lost to the Cabessers, so Jocko and Pierre get a win there.
Building momentum for them.
Mr. Tyrell, the HR guy again, wrestled King Slick and lost via submission. Sounds like that was rough.
Yeah, commentary called it brutal. So King Slick gets a solid win.
And a mixed tag match, too. Arai and the Ultimate versus Art the Clown and Alvra.
Representing the Deleters.
Yeah.
And Art and Alvra got the win there.
Man, so much going on. Just constant action feeding into different character arcs and faction stuff.
Absolutely. Even the non-title matches, they all add layers, build heat, showcase different wrestlers, and shift those faction standings bit by bit. It's like a constantly moving puzzle.
And speaking of factions, they had the War Games tournament semifinals, too.
Right. Huge match. 2 rings, cage, teams entering one by one. Classic stuff.
It was the militia, the Block, DUI, Brent, Cody Harris, and Gale.
That's a stacked team.
Against the Purifiers. They didn't list the whole team, but implied, like Honky Tonk Chris, Connor, Zippy, King Frenchie, maybe?
Sounds about right for the Purifiers core guys.
And the militia got the win, picked up 5 points for it.
Big win. War Games is clearly a major event for them. High stakes, big point reward. And they mentioned weapons being used too, kendo sticks, garbage cans. Adds to the chaos.
Yeah, and little moments within the match, like Connor going after fingers or Cody Harris trying a sharpshooter, those become little story beats themselves.
For sure. Seeds for future one-on-one feuds, maybe, or just reinforcing character traits within that chaos.
So after all that, where do the faction standings sit?
Okay, so the order they gave was the Elite on top.
Still number 1.
Followed really closely by the Militia. Then NXG, HRS, the Nicities, the Cuvessers, the Purifiers, and the Leaders bringing up the rear for now.
Wow, so it's tight at the top between Elite and Militia.
Yeah, really close. Which again shows that point system is working, right? It's creating genuine competition, making you care about who wins each match because it impacts that leaderboard.
Definitely. Now, shifting away from the matches for a sec, they also talk some behind-the-scenes stuff, like getting ready for 2K25.
Yeah, it seemed like they were chasing down people who hadn't sent in their character details yet for the new game. The logistics of managing all these digital wrestlers.
And they were worried about duplicate finishers in 2K25.
Right, like making sure everyone still feels unique if the game has overlapping moves.
Yeah.
It's a small detail, but important for keeping characters distinct.
And just general excitement for the new game, right? New features, a new arena.
Totally. You could hear the anticipation. It's a big deal for their community, obviously.
They also mentioned hitting some technical snags during the recording itself.
Relatable for anyone making content. Stuff happens.
Yeah. And plans for things like entrance music, entrance videos for wrestlers, just adding more production polish.
Enhancing the whole presentation, making it feel more like a real show, which is key for immersion.
And looking ahead, that Lucky 13 event seems like the next big focal point. Plus, that Only Heels Facebook group, continuing with its own, maybe weirder storylines.
Yeah, that parallel storytelling track.
Yeah.
And they mentioned cross-promoting too, right, with Raise the Bar Wrestling, BWE.
Oh, yeah. Plug in other digital leagues.
Shows there's a whole scene out there, a community, which is cool.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive into me and the boys wrestling, man, it's clear this digital world is super dynamic, always changing.
Absolutely. We saw upsets, new champs, rivalries heating up, that whole faction war. It's got a lot going on.
And the excitement for the new game, 2K25, and the Lucky 13 show definitely feels like things are building towards something.
Yeah, and if you step back, it's fascinating how these really complex stories get built in, like a simulated game world. But people get just as invested as they do with, TV shows and movies.
That's so true.
That level of detail, the commitment from the creators and the fans, it kind of makes you wonder, what is it about these ongoing sagas, these characters we follow, that just hooks us? Doesn't really matter if it's live action or digital, does it?
That is a really interesting thought to chew on. So for anyone listening who's intrigued by all this, definitely check out Raise the Bar Wrestling, BWE, and of course, Me and the Boys Wrestling itself.
And maybe peek into that Only Heels Facebook group if you dare.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about some of these results or which storylines you're following. We'd love to hear it.